2025 Vuelta España. Stage 18, an individual time trial here in Valladolid, dominated by top Ganna, Filippo Ganna, Italian national champion in the time trial, winner of the opening TT of Tirreno Adriatico. The Italian blistered over the 12.2 kilometer course in an average speed of 56.2 kilometers an hour, 13 minutes it took him to finish the day out there. A short day for the tall Italian, enough to win the stage, and I think our third stage win for Team Ineos. Remember Big Ben Turner's win there, I think ahead of Jasper Philipsen when we were in France. Egan Bernal's win the other day. And now today it's the turn of the Italian who's been waiting slowly, patiently, mountain stages, all sorts of stages until we got to today, stage 18 here in Castilla y León. Now this region is one of Spain's massive regions. This is true Spain. Miles and miles of plains broken up by fortress-like towns and cathedrals that seemingly touch the sky. And I was in front of one of the most beautiful cathedrals of them all today in León, a city that's a city of contrast, with this cathedral with some of the most beautiful stained glass in all of Europe, and tapas, bar streets buzzing with energy, where with every beer you get a free little nibble, snack, a tapa to enjoy along with it. I didn't have too many, don't you worry. This stage report should be pretty steady Eddie. I had to get up early this morning to do a run. We did a short one around the city and finished there with the cathedral. Beautiful. We saw some pilgrims there on their Camino towards Santiago. If you want to check it out, it's there on Strava. This day was going to be one that was really going to test the GC riders. 27.2 kilometers, a day to put in time, especially if you're good against the clock, like João Almeida, because remember, he was trailing second place behind Jonas Vingegaard around about 50 or so seconds coming into stage 18. And you're saying, Gregor, 27.2 kilometers? I thought you studied mathematics. Well, yeah, I did. And this stage was shortened by 15 kilometers. There's your math, because the threat of protest is real, with the Palestine-Israel conflict brewing and the supporters out here of Palestine really wanting to make a show. So the city had to adjust their police force and shorten the course so they could secure a course out there for the riders to race. 12.2 kilometers. And let's go over what happened. Some of those early pace setters, including Filippo Ganna. It was Dan Houle out there. You'll remember him on that rainy day there in Pisa at the Giro d'Italia, won his stage win for Lidl Trek. He was knocked off by Filippo Ganna. Dan Houle's time didn't stand for long, and Filippo Ganna came in with that 13-minute time. Mads Pedersen challenged them, but it was Ganna who made really the headway over that third check at the finish. It was from check 2 to the finish where he made the big advantage. Ganna's time would stand, as we know, stage winner. We saw Mads Pedersen come through to try to challenge that. We also saw King Koen come through and try to do something. It wasn't to be. I think our Swiss friend, King Koen, who's rumored or maybe even confirmed to join Tudor next year, well, now you know, he clocked in at 13 minutes, 12 seconds. But the time we want to look at is the rider in the polka dot jersey, Jay Vine, teammate of Juan Ayuso, teammate of João Almeida, sitting second overall, teammate of Ivo Oliveira. I think just Ivo, Oliveira, Jay Vine, and João Almeida were given the green light to go all out today. The other riders, well, they could ease off the gas a little bit because they know they need to save something if they're ever going to support João Almeida in his GC bid in this Vuelta España. Well, Jay Vine blisters through the time checks, first time check, second time check, setting times that no one could really match, threatening Filippo Ganna, top Ganna's time for the stage win. He comes into the finish line, he pushes it all the way to the finish line, just 9/10 of a second off of the winner's time. And that wasn't enough, and Filippo Ganna would hold on all the way until the end. A long time over there in the hot seat, Filippo, but it earned you the victory. Jay Vine crushed. Everybody surrounded around him at the finish line area, but he didn't give us any quotes. He went over to the mix zone. He was going to speak afterwards in the stage because he's in that mountains jersey. Then came our GC battle. Some riders to watch out there. Matthew Riccitello, the American, he says Riccitello, but is Riccitello in Italian. He did enough today to leapfrog up to 6th place overall, and Felix Gall didn't do enough today to hold off the American, falling back to 7th, losing his place in 6th. And Felix Gall, you can call him Gal, and Betty, when you call me, you can call me Al. Felix, well, it looks like he's suffering in these days. We saw that in yesterday's summit finish. We saw that again today in the TT. Riccitello took advantage of that today to earn himself a place 6th overall. Now I want to turn your attention to the British rider battling for his first podium finish in a Grand Tour, Tom Pidcock. You'll know him for cyclocross, you'll know him for mountain bike racing, and you'll know him for the one-day classics. And here in the Vuelta, he's riding for that GC, and today, I think he's earning himself a spot on the podium in Madrid if the race gets there. We hope it does, because he put in 2 to 3 seconds on Jai Hindley, his #1 rival, sitting there 4th overall. Remember, it's Jai in 4th place overall, and Giulio Pellizzari in 5th place overall. Now we have Matthew Riccitello there in 6th place overall. We're looking at the GC standings on the stage, and in fact, you'll see now it's Tom Pidcock with an extra little bit of buffer on Jai Hindley. You'll also see João Almeida with more time edging closer to Jonas Vingegaard, because out there on the day, well, it was João Almeida, the best of the GC riders, to really light things up, putting 11 seconds into Jonas Vingegaard and setting a blistering time out there, along with his UAE teammate, Jay Vine. João Almeida did enough, 11 seconds, to move himself now within 40 seconds of Jonas Vingegaard, with only a few more days of racing left in this Vuelta España. So the question must have been asked to João Almeida when we saw him over there at his bus. He was warming down, and we had a few words to him. João, don't you wish this TT would have been longer? You would have had more time to put time into Jonas and perhaps get closer to that red jersey. Can you only imagine if we had 15 more kilometers, the damage the Portuguese rider could have done to our 2-time Tour de France winner, Jonas Vingegaard, who's here trying to win his first Vuelta España, Tour of Spain. João said, well, it is what it is. He takes a pretty zen approach to his responses and just accepts things how they are. He said, if Jonas wins this tour, if someone else does, well, that's how it's meant to be. And he was commenting both on the time trial, the shortened TT today, and some of these stages that we've had canceled or shortened due to protest. And we hope the next couple of days don't have that, because we have a crosswind stage possibly tomorrow, and we got the Bola del Mundo stage coming up on Saturday before our Madrid sprint finish there at the capital in Spain. But today, the story in Valladolid is Tom Pidcock moving closer to that podium finish at the end of the Vuelta España. Riccitello moving up 1 place overall, and it's João Almeida moving ever so closely to the red jersey, the lead of Jonas Vingegaard and Filippo Ganna on top, stage 18 of the 2025 Vuelta España.